John, and it was Ringo and George never said anything. I couldn't believe it. They were so respect. George had a little, Ringo, I never heard a word out of his mouth. But he was watching everything. Paul and John got into a conversation immediately. Elvis, man, you're the man, you're it. You started everything. We would, there'd be no Beatles, there'd be no Stones, there'd be no Jerry and the Paceman, there'd be, thank you, Elvis. I picked up a guitar, and they both said that. And I was just reading last week, all the people that got into the business because of Elvis, from Bruce Springsteen to Bob Dylan, all of them were inspired because of Elvis. What, you probably know more than me, what's the opera Placido Domingo?
Placido Domingo.
You know what he said? Elvis's voice, that's what the voice I want. Tenor, right? So, I'm going to wrap this part of the story up because what happens out of this is what you need to know. Ringo and George and all of our guys went into the other room because in the big room, the living room, was a pool table. And for the next hour or two, those guys played pool. Brian Epstein, the Beatles manager, and the Colonel stood together by a roulette wheel that the Colonel put up, metaphorical, you know, Anyway, they left in the den. Elvis, with his guitars on stands, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and that was, I think that was Charlie Hodges' first movie. He started working for Elvis on Paradise Alliance. Charlie was there, and I think Jerry was there. Jerry would never have left.
Yeah.
John says, Elvis, can I play your guitar? I said, yeah, pick it up. John picks up one of the guitars. Paul asked the same thing, and I think there was what did Paul play?
Bass.
Bass.
Yeah.
There was a bass, he picked up the bass. Elvis turns around, picks up his Martin. Can you imagine this? The Beatles and Elvis strumming.
Yeah.
Listen to this. John started to play the song Memphis that came out a year earlier with Johnny Rivers. He started playing it. Elvis looked at him like that. He stopped playing it. He started playing something else. They all jammed together. They all started singing together. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, in infinity, in this space-time continuum, I'm in the best place that anyone could possibly be. It was fantastic. And I remember when John nudged Paul. In every one of Elvis's rooms, in any house, TVs are always on. No one turns them off. And Paul says to John, color telly. I think you never had that. Yeah. I'll never forget that. So that night they left. Other things happened, but we're on a time thing and I wanted to get you somewhere. So they left and I walked up to his bedroom and he said to me, man, damn, did you see their teeth? Well, those guys grew up during the war, Second World War, and milk was rationed in the UK, and they weren't getting calcium. One of my closest friends was from there at that time, same thing. And he lost all of his teeth. So then Elvis was going to his bedroom, and I says, I'll see you tomorrow. He turned to me and said, Lawrence, I want you to remember one thing. I said, what? He said, there's 4 of them. There's only one me. Here it comes, folks. The stage is set. We leave town. We get into the Dodge mobile home. Elvis is driving. I'm sitting shotgun like I always did. We're in the Arizona desert. It's about midnight. And in those days, there weren't even CDs in those days. Let alone what we have today, technically. We had 8-tracks. And Elvis loved Roy Orbison. And he had the best of Roy Orbison on it. He put it in, driving, and piped in is Roy singing, Only the Lonely. Sitting, it's beautiful, his voice, you know. Elvis, man, this guy's got, he's got the golden voice, you know. Halfway through, all of a sudden, Elvis starts singing the rest of the song with Roy Orbison. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, how could I even tell him what this is like? This is something else, right? Of course, Elvis knew I used to do his hair and all that, but we really didn't discuss that part. The song's over. Elvis turns down the volume and he looks at me with that Elvis look, with a smile and a grin. I got it. I got it. I got it. I know what I'm going to do, Lawrence. I said, what? I'm going to create a gospel album. I don't want RCA to mess with it. I don't want the Colonel to have anything to do with it. Hey, they can put it out and all that. This is my album. I'm in charge. I'm going to pick every song myself. So for the next 6-8 months, Elvis had a fabulous, 45s and 78, album records going back to the 40s, right? And every time we came back from a movie, we would go into Elvis's bedroom. Right next to the bedroom was Elvis's office. He didn't go in very much, but we went in to listen to music. And it took him months, and he selected everything that's in that album. Time to record, RCA Victor, Nashville, Tennessee. We go there to the Albert Pike Motel. We go up to Elvis's bedroom, getting ready to go that night, only at night would we record, to RCA. Elvis says, listen, you guys, you all go to the car. Larry and I will be down in a minute. They all leave. And Elvis said to me, listen to me, Larry. What I'm going to do tonight is not some of those songs they give me for those movies. Because some of those songs I would never pick myself. Some of them are pretty damn good, but some of them I wouldn't. This is not rock and roll music. This is God's music. And you know, as well as I do, God works in mysterious ways. I have no idea who's going to hear it. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. If one person listens to this and it helps them in any way, then I've done my job. So what I'm getting at is, I'm not getting out of this chair. I'm not using this voice that was given to me till my ego is out of the way. I'm not leaving to that studio until I hear that still small voice within me. Turn the lights down. Let's pray. Let's meditate. That's what happened for about, I would say in real time, 11, 12 minutes. And all of a sudden I heard, I'm ready. Let's hit it. Went to the studio, and that's how great thou art was born. The Beatles influenced that album. They don't know it. No one knows it. He was so in such a turmoil. He had do something.
Yeah.
No, we did later things. Next time, God willing, we get together. I'll tell you the last. I have one little story to finish this off. But
Okay.
I'll tell you. Later in years, towards the end, Elvis had plans for his future that will blow your mind. He always wanted to break away from the criminal, and he got to a place where absolutely he was going to. But I can't go into that now, you guys. But hey, let's have our future together, and I'm working on things where this will come out, I promise. Now, 11 years later, we're on tour. The first tour of 1977. 1977. We were in Florida, southern Florida, Hollywood outside of, that area. We're on the Greyhound bus, we got out of the bus, get into the Hilton Hotel, of course. How many people were there? Everywhere. Fans are screaming, and Elvis, Elvis. And I get out, and there's always a group of fans, real hardcore fans. Wherever we went, they were there first. And this one girl, I'll never forget, she had a Levi jacket, and jeans, and a blouse, I don't remember exactly. Elvis. Hi, Larry. She knew my name, right? Hi. I went to my room and unpacked. I wanted to get something to eat because I knew Elvis wanted me up and blah, blah, blah. He was up on top of the hotel in his suite. I went downstairs and I saw her and I called her over and I said, would you like to sit with me? And she got real excited, yeah. So I said, the reason I want to talk to you is I see you covered with, I'm so curious, why? Why do you do this? Everywhere we go, you're there. And she began to tell me her story. Her name was Darlene. And she said, Larry, you can tell by looking at me that I'll never have a husband or children. She had the most gorgeous, angelic, big blue eyes, a beautiful face. From the waist down, it was obvious that she was challenged. And she told me her story where when she was 8 years old, she fell down a flight of stairs, her spine broke in several places, and then for years, hospitals, doctors, surgeries, pills, shots, doped up, no life, nothing. She wanted out. She couldn't handle it. She wanted to check out. She said, I had all the pills. I gave whatever I want. I was in my room. I wrote the note. The radio was on, and all of a sudden I heard Elvis singing How Great Thou Art. And all of a sudden something hit me and I'm on the floor crying hysterically, uncontrollably. I couldn't stop. I went over and over and over and crying, and I knew that God wanted me to live for Elvis.
Wow. What a story.
I told her briefly about what Elvis said. And then I said, I gotta go. I know Elvis needs me. I have to go upstairs. Nice talking to you. I went upstairs. I walked into the Elvis' suite, and no one was there but Elvis. And he was standing at the drapes, looking down, because all the fans were downstairs outside, of course. And he was just peeking. I remember thinking, God, if they knew that he was even looking, you know, they would get a kick out of it, you know. Elvis, I got to tell you something. He turned around and said, what is it? And I told him, Elvis is wearing his blue robe, royal blue robe, and a blue hood. Oh. Blue hood. Picture that face in that blue. What is it, Larry? And I told him. Remember, it's 1977. Last tour. First tour. He started shaking his head. Oh man. Tears. I saw him. I really need to hear that. You have no idea, Larry. I need to hear it. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Now.
There's just a few other things.
I'm trying to shut me up. Well, you don't have to pull, you don't have to drag me off. I just want to say that it's wonderful to be with you all. Because you're the Elvis family. You were his North Star. He lived for his fans. How many times did he say, if it wasn't for my fans, I would not be here. I owe them everything. And all I have to do is be there for them. And that's the truth. And so thank you for listening.